Hey everyone, it's Kyle from For Songwriters with another tutorial for you guys today. Today, I want to talk to you guys about using a mix channel on your send effects and all the extra benefits that come from doing this little trick. So, let's get right into it. So you can see here in my rack that I have a reverb unit and a delay unit, but I've done something extra to them in that I've added a mix channel to each one, and then I've routed the effect through that mix channel. Let me show you how I did that. We're going to flip the rack around. So we flip it around. Let me get rid of the cable clutter really quick. If we look at the reverb unit, normally out of effects send 1, we would just bring it to the input and then we'd bring the output directly back to the effects return. But in this case, we're going to send the output to its own mix channel and then the direct out of that mix channel to finish the effects loop. And in so doing, what this does for us is it not only gives us every feature we have in the SSL Mixer here. So now you could see my reverb unit right here. I have an input trim knob. I could change the order of things. I can compress it. I can gate it. We'll show you that later. I have low pass and high pass EQs that you could see set that I'm going to show you how to use. You could use the entire EQ there. You can use insert effects, and you can even send your send effects to other send effects or even to itself, which we're going to do a little bit later for a little trick. So now you have so many sonic options just by adding a mix channel. I think you'll find this will really open up some creative possibilities, and at the very least, I think it helps you mix later on down the road. So to show what I'm talking about, I've pre-recorded a guitar part and I've added a very, very simple drum part to this. We're going to have the drum part muted to start, but we're going to play this guitar part and I'm going to show you how we can use the mix channel trick to get a better control of our reverb and our delay that we're going to put on our electric guitar here. So we're going to get that playing now. I'm going to pray that you don't get bored with it repeating, but let's go to it. All right, we have it here, and you can see I've already removed quite a bit of the bass out of it. Let me take that off for a second. So there's a lot of low rumble there that's really unnecessary, so we're going to cut that out. But if we take that guitar part and then we then send it to the reverb, give it a healthy amount, that reverb's pretty warm. It's got a reasonable amount of low end that you add enough instruments to a reverb like that and all of a sudden you have this really muddy low and mid-range that we could clean up. It'll be sound like kind of like this, really thick, and you could just turn on a high pass filter, excuse me, and you can really cut it out so you just get that nice bright high. You can even come in and make it but we can really affect and shape the reverb exactly how we want to using this EQ. We even have the option of putting some insert effects on it. So let's flip back to the rack and I'll show you what I've done. I've put a pulverizer in here and just to have some fun with it, let's see what we could do with it. So we bypass it, we unbypass it, and you could compress your reverb. Maybe not very musical. We can add some dirt to it. Or we could add a frequency to it, a band pass. The comb filter could be pretty cool. So you can get some pretty cool effects by running this through that. You can also obviously do none or the full wet signal. We can even add some tremolo to this. Could be a cool little reverb effect to use. Flipping back to the mixer, let's pull the reverb off of it. Guitar back to its dry state. Let's send it to the delay. You can immediately hear the delay playing. What you might not realize, you having all the feedbacks happen on the delay itself, if we go to the delay and turn down the feedback like we have, we can actually then send the delay back to the delay. And so I'm going to do that just now. We're going to turn this delay down a little bit. And now we're going to feed the delay back into the delay. You have to be careful not to create a feedback loop by adding too much, as you can kind of hear it's doing. But what this then does is if we were to take our EQ, you can hear each delay gets added that little bump in the EQ, and it gives its own little character and might lead to some sonic characteristics that you can't otherwise achieve using this feedback technique. And as always, you could always choose to send one effect to another. So we send this reverb, and we send it to a delay. It's kind of a neat tone you wouldn't get otherwise. Lastly, we're going to bring the drums in now. So they're really dry, kind of boring. One simple effect that you might want to do with your drums that that would only be easily done using this technique is using a gated reverb, say on your snare. So let's send the snare to the reverb. Okay, that's really bright and pretty long, a little longer than we probably need. We're going to come up to the reverb channel and we're going to turn the gate on. And just adjusting the threshold a little bit and how quickly the release goes, we can start to control that. And even check this out. If it's too much, it's just as simple as drawing that down. We can even pan it around. A little unnatural, but once again, you can come up with some cool ideas using this. So there you have it. Send your send effects through a mix channel like I do, and I'm sure you'll come up with many, many more creative ways to use it. In fact, if you do, load up your patch and leave it as a comment either at the YouTube channel or on the blog. I'd love to see your patches and see what you come up with. All right, guys, have a good day.